So this year, as we all know, Razer has been doing a lot of innovating when it comes to their products, and their new Razerblade 15 is no different. So within the last couple of years, when it comes to like Windows gaming laptops, we've seen quite a drastic change in them. We've gone from these big, humongous laptops that would sit on your desk that were pretty much bigger than like a desktop PC setup, which kind of defeated the purpose. Now we're seeing more aesthetically pleasing products, and not only that, they have the performance to back it up. So the Razerblade 15 features a black aluminum shell. It feels very nice to the touch. It's rounded at the four corners and sharp everywhere else. It's got the Razer logo on top in green, and I actually think it matches very nicely with the aesthetic. I don't mind it at all. It's not too obnoxious, and it lets people know what product you're using. On the bottom side, they're gonna have two like laptop feet, I guess you would call them, and these are just lines that go across, and this keeps the laptop in place, which it does very nicely. Along the bottom, there's also two openings for two fans and some ventilation along the back. They have a copper heatsink inside, and it keeps the laptop very cool, all things considering. Even when you're rendering or gaming for hours, it stays fairly cool considering this is an aluminum body. Now on the left side, you're gonna have a place for the power. There's gonna be a 3.2 gen USB-A on there, a USB-C Thunderbolt, and a headphone jack on the left-hand side. So on the right side of the laptop, you're gonna have a Kensington lock if you wanna lock this up. You also have a mini display port, a HDMI port, and a USB-A port, and also a USB-C on the right-hand side. I think this will cover most people. I would have liked to have seen a SD card, but that's just the creator in me. I guess you can't have everything, and this is targeted towards gamers, but a lot of people can actually use this as like a productive workstation as well. So I would have liked to have seen them just put in an SD card slot. There's plenty of room for it. Why not? So the keyboard has RGB on it. Like MKBHD says, matte black everything. I'm saying RGB everything. So with this, they have that nice optical mechanical keyboard, which we'll get into later. There will be a sound test. They have two flanking speakers on either side, and these speakers sound pretty good. It didn't give me the imaging that I wanted, but you know, for most cases, it will do the job. And if you're on the go, most likely you're gonna have some headphones anyways. There's also this glass touchpad on there that feels really good. And that's one thing that's really kept me from going to a Windows laptop, was the touchpads were never that good. But with the Razer laptop, going from my new MacBook Pro 16 to this device, I can barely tell the difference. It feels like I'm almost using the same device. And that's a compliment because MacBook Pros have some of the best trackpads ever made in my opinion. Now it does come with this power bank, and it's actually pretty flat. It plugs in like an L shape, so it can go either way. When it goes towards you, it's gonna block the USB-Cs and USB-As and all that stuff. So you wanna have it going out the back way. So these are a pricey device, but when you consider what you're getting, I think you're actually getting your money's worth. Let me tell you guys what mine is spec'd out with. So for $2,600, what that gets you is a 9th gen Intel Core i7 9750H, 6 core, 2.6 gigahertz that can turbo boost up to 4.5 gigahertz. It also has a GeForce RTX 2070 Max Q with 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD, NVMe. And then we come to the sweetness that is that screen. It's a 15.6 inch, 240 hertz. You heard that right, 240 hertz. It also has 100% of the sRGB with slim bezels at 4.9 millimeters. So not only is this screen fast, but you're gonna be able to color grade on it as well, which is simply amazing. And I have to say, I'm so impressed by the viewing angles on this laptop as well. So if you wanna show people what you're doing, people can see it from the outside. I don't know if that's a good thing when you're on a plane or you're in a terminal, for people to see from all different angles. So I pitted this laptop up against my desktop PC, and the single cores weren't too far off. And then when you go to the multi-cores, that's where my desktop PC just kills this laptop. But it also has 2 more cores. But just the fact that we're getting and we're kind of closing the gap between like a laptop and a big rig, that's just mind-blowing to me that we are in a day and age that is a thing. Now also I compared the 27 Max Q to my 2080 and my desktop, and of course my desktop PC beat it, but That's not to say that the 27 Max Q was a slouch by any means. It really held its own, and when I was playing Apex, which is one of the most unoptimized games out right now, it actually didn't stutter once. It really felt like a smooth experience. I didn't feel like I skipped a beat going from my desktop PC down to my laptop. And that in itself is a W in my opinion. So I also ran Overwatch on this laptop to see if I was actually making use of that 240 Hz screen, and I was getting roughly around 160 to, I think I topped out at about 193 frames per second. And that's a W in my opinion, because you are using some of that screen's potential. Now I did have to put everything down to low, but even on my desktop PC, I have to put it down to low to get anywhere near 200 Hz. So another cool feature of this laptop is QuickSync. Now Intel processors have something where it actually helps with the rendering and playback of your footage if you are playing it in like Adobe Premiere. So my timeline, it was actually playing back my raw footage in real time with no stuttering. And that to me is a third W, because even my desktop PC struggles at times. So just the fact that this laptop can be a viable option to my desktop is insane to me. So this is featuring a 80 milliwatt hour battery. It is really good actually. I was getting roughly around 2 to 6 hours depending on what I was doing, whether I was like editing and gaming, that was near like the 2-hour mark. And then when I was just being productive and just typing and, you know, typing up the script for this video, it was lasting roughly around about 6 hours. So your mileage may vary depending on what you're doing. So finally, let's talk about this new optical mechanical keyboard. Now it features those new Razer optical mechanical switches, so the actuation is almost instant. They also have a 1.7 millimeter travel distance, which is a lot greater than a lot of the other keyboards that we're seeing out, which in my opinion makes it more viable for gaming than other laptops. It feels like a blue when you press down the switch, and it definitely sounds like it, but not as loud. And on the way back, the bump is less pronounced. That clickiness is not as, you know, you're not gonna get a double click. You're just gonna get a nice click, and then on the release, it's nice and subtle. But I do feel like this helps on a gaming laptop, because most aren't gonna be ridged and like on a cherry profile like you would have on your desktop. So it's nice that they added in this clickiness so that you can know when you actuate a switch. Because for me on a laptop, if I was trying to game on my MacBook or any other keyboard, I think I don't know, it would take me a long time to get used to, let's just say that. Anyways guys, let's drop a sound test for you guys right about now. Oh yeah, you can definitely annoy some people with these switches on your plane. The webcam is placed in the middle, and I feel like it leaves a little bit to be desired. Alright guys, this is a test of the webcam. This is a 720p webcam. This quality is okay. I wish it was a 1080p camera and it was a little bit sharper, but what are you gonna do? This is gonna get the job done for like most applications, but if you're looking to like record or do something more like a podcast, I don't know if this is gonna be it, Chief. And for me, being able to go from my desktop to this laptop and not feel like I'm skipping a beat really left a lasting impression on me. And it really makes you wonder, like, should I just go down to a laptop so I have something where I can go on the go and also come home and make it a workstation and not have a big desktop PC? It's really, they're starting to get there, you know? Like for me, I'm a performance fiend, so of course I'm gonna stick with my desktop. But just the fact that I can actually start considering that really makes me feel like this is probably one of the best pieces of tech that I've touched all year, just for the fact that it makes me think about the future. So I know the price on the surface seems really steep, but when you really think about it, you're getting a gaming beast with a 240 Hz screen. You're getting something that you can edit and be productive on as well, and all in a portable, small package. This product is nuts. Like, this is nuts that we can compare a laptop to a desktop PC. Now, it's not all the way there yet, I know, because, you know, the cores and all that. So if you don't decide to get one now, that's understandable. But for the future, I think this is very, very promising in the fact that the prices will go down at some point. But just the fact that we're getting so close to having a desktop replacement in a smaller form factor really is promising for the tech community. All right, guys, it has been your boy BT. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.